A dusty road twisted its way through the fields, leading to a village most maps no longer named. It had been there for centuries, nestled between gentle hills and old mango trees. Life moved slowly in this place. Old men played cards under verandas, women carried water in brass pots from the communal well, and children chased each other barefoot across dirt paths. It was quiet, simple, and for the most part, peaceful, except for the tree. On the very edge of the village, where the fields ended and the earth began to crack with dryness, there stood an old neem tree, twisted, thick, and darker than the others. It was older than anyone remembered. Its branches stretched in every direction like skeletal arms, and its bark was blackened in a way that didn't match the rest of the landscape. The villagers called it Bahir Wala Darakt, the tree outside. It was not a place for stories or picnics. It was a warning. They never built near it, never rested under its shadow, not even in the brutal heat of summer. Children were forbidden to go near it, and under no circumstances was anyone to stay there after sunset. The rule was unspoken but absolute. No one questioned it, because the few who had never returned. It had happened many times over the years, but always the same way. A traveler would laugh at the fear. "It's just a tree," they'd say, with a smugness that made the villagers go silent. And when night fell, the traveler would stay under its limbs, stubborn or skeptical or both. And by morning, they were gone. No signs of a struggle, no blood, no footprints. Their things would remain: bags, shoes, food. But the person would be gone as if plucked from the earth by unseen hands. No one searched, no one dared. The families of such travelers might come and scream and weep, but the villagers would only shake their heads. "They slept under the tree," they'd say quietly. That's all there is to it. Rafiq had grown up with the tree at the edge of his world. As a child, it had scared him more than anything, not because of what it was, but because of what it wasn't. There was no legend, no ghost story attached to it, just silence. That made it worse. But time dulls fear. As he grew older, he began to question it. It was just a tree. He'd passed it dozens of times, and it had never so much as dropped a branch. It didn't whisper in the wind or bleed sap like the tales of cursed trees in books. It just stood there. And so, on a hot evening in late July, when he was 24 and filled with equal parts pride and boredom, Rafiq made a decision. "I'll sleep there tonight," he told his friend Salman as they sat by the well. Salman looked up sharply. "Don't joke like that." "I'm not joking. It's a tree, Salman. Just a tree." "You know what happens. You've heard the stories." "I've heard stories," Rafiq said. "But no one ever actually saw anything happen. There's no proof, just fear." Salman was quiet for a long time. "You'll regret it." "I'll be back in the morning," Rafiq said with a smile, "and I'll have proof that the stories are just that. Stories." The villagers didn't try to stop him. They just watched. Some turned their backs, a few whispered prayers, and one old woman shook her head and said, "He's already gone." Rafiq packed a mat, a lantern, and a bottle of water. As the sun began to dip behind the hills, he walked to the edge of the village, past the last of the houses, past the cracked earth and overgrown paths, and stood before the tree. It looked the same as ever, twisted, silent, ancient. He laid his mat under the largest branch and lit the lantern. For a while, nothing happened. Crickets chirped, wind rustled dry leaves, and far off he could hear a cow lowing. The air was warm, still. He stretched out on his mat and stared up at the branches. "I told you," he whispered to the tree. "There's nothing here." But sleep did not come easily. There was a tension in the air, something heavy that didn't belong. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt like he was being watched. But when he sat up, nothing was there, just branches and night. The lantern flickered once, then again, and then it went out. Rafiq sat up sharply. Darkness pressed in around him. He reached for the lantern, shook it, still full of oil, but the flame wouldn't catch. He tried his phone's flashlight. It lit up for a second before dying. The night grew impossibly quiet. No wind, no insects, not even his own breathing seemed to echo. Then he heard it, a soft, dragging sound, like cloth on dirt, very slow, very steady, coming from behind the tree. "Who's there?" he called, his voice thinner than he expected. No answer. He stood up, trying to see through the blackness. His eyes adjusted slowly, and he thought he saw something move, just for a second, at the base of the tree. A shape, not large, not small. Something wrong in the way it moved, like it was folding in and out of itself. Rafiq took a step back.